January the 10th, 2016. Many of you have heard about the Obama 2016 World Tour. It says the president is planning to travel the globe to seal his foreign policy legacy. Legacy has to do with the past. What he's really doing has to do with the future. Not his past, he cares less. Guys, for 70 years, the UN has been an organization that has been more or less ineffective as far as United States policy. If we didn't go along with it, it didn't get very far, especially here. But what if this entire thing, as far as the United Nations, was set up for this last generation? I'm afraid that's what's happening. Back in 2014, people started noticing that the moves that were being put in place to put him as the new world dictator. Obama's bid for the UN Secretary General has begun. This started at a speech at West Point. He was standing up, saying he was the best speechwriter, the best diplomat it ever was. Then the Nobel Peace Prize Committee gave Obama its award on speculations less than 9 months after his inauguration in 2009. They did it to promote multilateral diplomacy. That means worldwide, and an emphasis on the role that the United Nations and other international institutions can play. Now the UN, acting similar, can make him president of the world. Secretary General Ban Ki-moon's term expires in early 2017. If Obama was his successor, the U.S., even under a Republican administration, might not veto an ex-U.S. president in the Security Council. Even in the Middle East. Notice the date, January 8, 2016, 2 days ago. The Kuwaiti media has gotten the information that Obama is to seek the UN Secretary Generalship. Guys, this is very dangerous. You have to watch this entire video to see what Obama says about it at the end, to see how truly these end times are rushing to a biblical end. Whether or not you believe in the Bible or not, maybe you need to study it for a history lesson. But they're saying that they published this article on Friday that Barack Obama has set his sights on becoming the next Secretary General of the UN. He leaves the Oval Office in 1 year. Notice, Moon's term, that's Ban Ki-moon, the 8th Secretary General, is set to end December 31st of this year, 21 days before Obama's second term as president ends. It's perfect. Listen, there's other people that are very concerned about this. One is Benjamin Netanyahu. He's vowed to counter his campaign. He said 8 years of Obama's judgments and marginalizing Israel was not enough. He said now he wants to be in a position to cause us trouble in the international forum. He's going to be elected the Secretary General of the world. Now we have Ban Ki-moon, Secretary General. This is the UN website. Notice it's saying it's your world at the top, like they say it's your park in the Oregon standoff. But it started back in 46 to 52. We had Mr. Lai from Norway. Then from 53 to 61, this guy here, he died in an airplane crash going on from Uthan in Miramar to Kirkwaldum in Austria, up through Sailor in Peru, Boutros Ghali, remember him? Kofi Annan. Now again, Ban Ki-moon. Only 8 in the history. They're not elected by all these people you see sitting here. There's only 15 members of the UN Security Council. It's not a big vote. It's like a good old boy system. So he has to bring these 15 people together. Only 5 have permanent seats. 10 are elected and have a 2-year seat. Do you understand what I'm saying? That means 10 nations will be given power. At that time, 10 kings, 10 horns, 10 crowns to bring this vote about. Again, the election is due to be held in 2016. Not a big election, just a few people together. Some of the people that want to run, notice at the bottom of the list, another president. Angela Merkel, Chancellor of Germany. She's put her name in the hat. Obama hasn't. He never lets known what he's about to do. You understand what I'm saying? There's always an executive order put together in the back rooms by his lawyer. Said this year Obama will be making good use of Air Force One while he still can. This goes on to talk about things. He said he asked his aides to set a busy international travel schedule for him in his final year, with at least a half dozen trips already in the works, more coming. The travel will be aimed at cementing a foreign policy legacy he hopes will include the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Guys, do you know how much power that put into the hands of the United Nations? Increased attention to Asia, an opening of Latin America, progress against the Islamic State, and significant global movement on climate change. We saw that with the Paris thing. That had nothing to do with climate change. It had to do with presenting himself as the leader of the New World Order. Be awake. It says they are also looking at a stop in the Middle East. He's going to go to every continent except Australia and Antarctica. Every continent. Now they talk about, again, his legacy. They have this man completely underestimated. He's looking to the future. Many have said that they cannot believe how stupid the deals that have been made are. They're not stupid. Evil is not stupid. It's important to open your eyes and realize what's going on. Said 4 trips have already had the main stops set. He'll be in Japan for the G7, same group, Poland for NATO, China for G20, and likely in Peru for the Asian Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in November, after the presidential election. Taxpayer money to promote him as the new world order leader. Guys, do not miss the end of this video if you think that I'm kidding you. You're looking at the UN building. It's very interesting in itself. In itself, it's interesting. Some of the things that are inside it are more graphic than what's in the Denver airport. And we know that symbology is important to this certain group of people. This mural is in the Security Council room. This is not the big room where you see all the nations. This is the small round circle that has the 15 people that will elect the next world leader. Notice the phoenix rising after the destruction. Notice the Economist magazine, guys, the same Illuminati group, talking about a new world currency, a new world order coming about. This is even more amazing. This is inside the United Nations. Look at this mural very closely. Some of you guys make an input and have more knowledge about this particular in-your-face mural than I do. You're looking at a series of fallen angels. It's very important we look at this as close as we can. Again, some of you guys may know more about it than I do. What I do want to point out, though, is you're dealing with angels. You're looking at the wings associated with these beings. In the middle, very key. I'm going to scan across this, let you kind of look at some of the things close up. In the middle, I believe very strongly that we're dealing with Apollyon and sun worship. There are 10 dragons. There are 10 kings. There are 10 horns that give the power to the beast in the end time. Over to the right, the woman with the child with the wings. Very biblical. Now, you'll have to stop this and study it. I'm sure that people will come up with a lot more than what I have here. One of the things about the woman with the child, there's a solar eclipse next to her. But here, almost positive, they're talking about sun worship and Apollyon. Apollyon has to do with the giant obelisk you see in Washington, that you see in the Vatican. And again, 10 dragons, the 10 kings, the 10 horns. Think about that. King James, they talk about Revelation 17, very key. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. Why? Because they're going to, so he can give them that power of the vote. Remember, 5 are permanent, 10 are temporary. They will be given that vote. They will be given power with the beast with this 1 hour. One more very important thing about this mural. Notice the rooster. He is decorated in the United States flag. I'm not sure if you can see it here. I'm doing this in 720 HD. Again, the rooster is dressed in the flag of the United States. How would that be symbolic to the Illuminati? First, it is the universal sun solar symbol. It has to do with sun worship. Pause this and read it, guys, but I'm going to go down to this part. A rooster was standing beside Leto, pregnant by Zeus, when she gave birth to Apollo. Apollyon in the Revelation. That is the leader. That is who they're talking about. Apollo can be traced down to the number 666. Again, I have a video, if it has not been deleted, about that very subject. Also, we're talking about the beast system, the beast with the deadly wound. This rooster has healing powers, according to the Illuminati, that can bring the dead back to life on Earth. It's precisely the reason why the rooster was also the emblem of Attis, the Oriental sun god who died, came to life again. That's what we're dealing with. Most people think this is a political move. It's using politics to gain control of the military and the banking system. It is a religious move to bring about the Luciferian doctrine. The guys, Apollyon has been depicted throughout history. Watch the end of the video if you don't think that Obama has these plans in mind. It's a heads up. Be safe.
We're grateful to the United Nations for its efforts to forge a unity government. We will help any legitimate Libyan government as it works to bring the country together. But we also have to recognize that we must work more effectively in the future as an international community to build capacity for states that are in distress before they collapse. And that's why we should celebrate the fact that later today, the United States will join with more than 50 countries to enlist new capabilities: infantry, intelligence, helicopters, hospitals, and tens of thousands of troops to strengthen United Nations peacekeeping. And that's why we should celebrate the fact that later today, the United States will join with more than 50 countries to enlist new capabilities: infantry, intelligence, helicopters, hospitals, and tens of thousands of troops to strengthen United Nations peacekeeping.